bifocals.
No, they keep changing the control bar down here.
Likely story.
Well, it works.
I
Yup.
said that.
Yup.
I know, right?
Yep.
Had nothing to do with needing new bifocals.
Yeah, I was just on another Zoom call last night, but and we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. First order, of course, is reviewing of the minutes. That was from the April meeting. Because if you all remember, we spent much of May doing a public input tour. So entertain a motion, or if there's any need for changes.
Make a motion to approve as written.
Motion by Stacy, second by Nikki. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Minutes stand. Next item, discussion on the public input meetings. I'll definitely allow the architects to give their inputs here, but I would say in a summary. So we had one session in New Salem, one session in Hebron, one session in Flasher, and one session here in Mandan. The general response, and I would probably lean to say very, very favorable of the overall concept. As far as the inputs, I don't know if there's any, and I didn't grab all the notes, but I'll defer to the architects as well, because I know they were, well, Scott was here. Hey, Andy.
Cool.
Um,
So Emily.
Scott was at a couple of them. Stacy was at the Mandan one. But the general dialogue were additional enhancements. Nothing of a detractor, but definitely additional enhancements to the monument. One topic was a consideration of adding an illuminated graphics on the, it basically would be the north build out, the south wall of the north build out where we're doing the stucco repairs right now. Similar to what they do for the cathedral, Bismarck, is, you know, graphics like that we can just broadcast at certain periods. That's a very good thought. Another one was conversation with Jim Neubauer for the city of Mandan when they redid Dykeshore Park, where the playground area is. They contemplated grass and ended up going with a AstroTurf kind of a product there. And if you,
I think he wished they would have gone.
He wished they would have. They went on grass.
They
They
did
just
want
did.
grass, and
Mhm.
it just
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
matted down.
Little kids running over.
So
it, make it laugh.
their suggestion is that we consider that for the grassy areas, because again, it's a maintenance issue. The other comment that come in, and I mentioned it as, you know, it's not part of the hard scope, but it's something that we're definitely considering, was the radiant heat and the drainage, and that received significant favorable comments to include when we had it here. Our maintenance supervisor was part of that, and it may be something we just need to incorporate. It's safe, and it saves us money in the end. So, Al, Jake, anything you want to add that I may have not?
I don't recall any other right now, but those were the big takeaways that I had. There was a lot of smaller comments related to planting schemes and the kind of plants we use. And there was a comment about how are we going to incorporate the building cornerstone that's out there now.
Yep, that's right.
Just little things, but yeah, I would agree with everything you said. It was everyone was pretty excited about it, and I think there was a lot of gratitude for being able to review and be part of the process too. So I think it was really smart for you guys to reach out to these other satellite communities.
That was good. That
Not a golf or bet.
okay. Well, it depends on what you term as go for, but we had that conversation.
Well, 4-2.
Yeah, both.
Actually, both.
You
Yeah,
want
I
Eric?
got both.
Yeah.
Second
Yeah.
one, I went to Iceland earlier. Like I was doing.
Mhm. Got anything you want to add in?
No, not really. I think that pretty much covers it. I was, like I said, in New Salem, you sit on these and you kind of build it out and, and then you wonder like, oh damn, what are these guys gonna say when they see it? So it was kind of reassuring we were moving in the right direction, going to these and hearing the feedback.
So with that being said, how comfortable are we with this final design?
Think we could go with it. I don't think there's any, I didn't hear, when I came here in Mandan, there was nobody hated it or wanted anything changed drastically. I think we can basically move forward what we have.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
You want to make that as a motion then?
Sure. Make that as a motion.
Stacy motions that we move forward with the final concept,
Second.
seconded by Larry. Dialogue discussion. And definitely incorporating radiant heat as far as the final scope, incorporating the radiant heat and the drainage in with that.
On the topic of drainage, we were talking about doing the light shining out over the branches, and the more I think about it, the more that becomes a tripping hazard.
Yep.
But it would be a spot where we can incorporate drainage.
Yes.
The Morton County symbol in the middle, having that just cut out. So it just flows right into that and out.
Actually, Jake mentioned that, our maintenance supervisor, he mentioned that when you start moving snow, it's gonna hit.
It's gonna hit it and it's gonna tear it up, and it's just gonna be a constant source of buying new blades or new covers.
Then I think some of the final details are gonna come after,
Yeah,
you get into the really design development. of the
Right.
project. So
Right. So motion by Stacy, seconded by Larry to approve the final concept as presented, but also making sure that we do incorporate drainage and radiant heat. And that the final scope will be solidified when we get the design phase. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Next one again. So working with the subcommittee specifically, and this ties into email I sent to Jake and Al and CC Don Roan as far as, if we move into an RFP process. Don came back with concerns on probably go into a fundraiser right away because an RFP is going to cost the county money. This way we got fundraising in place, we can pay off whatever processes accordingly. I definitely agree with that. I know Andy and I had the same conversation too. We're all on the same page for that piece of it, and we'll discuss it here too. But before we get to that though, that's where the need for the subcommittees come into play. We want to solidify some of this stuff. Okay. So on historical research, Nikki, I haven't had a chance to talk with you about it, but I did mention Andy. But first question is the names that are out there. I know you were working on 4 more, 3 more, 5 more.
There was three more.
Okay. So basically, if we had any more that can surface, we had the one from McGowan out of New Salem. And it's an after effect of his time.
Does that fit by our criteria?
That's the next piece, though. That's why I'm asking if you guys are confident with your level of research.
What I've found from his obituaries, he would qualify, except you'd almost have to have some type of Purple Heart, some type of official finding that he died due to a war-related injury. And that I can't find.
He does not.
If he doesn't have a Purple Heart, I don't think there's gonna be a lot we can do.
Because of how we have our parameters or criteria, if we read that, as much as I would like to see him up there, I don't think he fits up there as per our criteria.
But for the other research, though, you're pretty and I'm talking about names that have surfaced.
Yes.
You're
I'm
confident,
confident the others will.
but I mean that we've done enough digging to identify any more missing names. The best available resources.
The ones that I'm working on would qualify.
Because well, twofold, what I want to do with this is one, I want to give that information to the criteria subcommittee, let them go through that data and verify. But I'm also working with our website so we can start building those individual profiles. So taking the summary of each of these people on however many words, pages, images you may have, but we collect all that. We have a writer on staff within the county, have them build consistent biographies on each person. And we just work with that piece of it. So that's what I'm asking. If you're confident with as much digging for resources that are available today that we have as all the names surfaced that we possibly could.
You know, the one thing here is like what Mr. Fitterer said. You know, people have missed them, states missed them. Heck, even the federal government made mistakes on all this. That there, for every single war, that enough space is left in the end, that if a name needs to be added, we have a spot to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And we agree on that.
Yep.
Yeah, we all agree on that. But just want to get moving into the next pieces here then.
You know, I'm downloading the file onto this drive and it's telling me I have 396 pieces of
Data.
Hmm.
Okay, we'll keep talking then. So for the historical research, again, just that is confirming that we have, as to the best of our knowledge, we have identified those that we feel need to be added. And then are you confident with your level of, I know you've been doing a lot of digging too, but with the amount of information for each person, you're comfortable that we have a complete story to tell?
I think so. It's to the best of our ability, I think.
Okay. So then I can take that for the website, and so we start building those individual profiles, but also taking that and giving it to the criteria subcommittee so they can review it as well. And okay, yes, yes, yes. Okay. So if you're dropping those files now, that'd be great. And then again, for the criteria subcommittee, which there you guys are sitting. So we just figure out a date and time to go through that. You know, it's probably a cluster at a time. Just time to review and confirm. And then the fundraising committee, we'll have to get together and detail things a little bit more concise, a little bit more direct. Because there was a few things that were brought out in the public input meeting. One of them was, you know, Ken Brick made comment about, you know, like getting an adopt an organization. Well, have something like that in each of our communities, honestly. Have champions all the way across, because that's how we're going to be able to do this, but also, you know, shoring up those corporate considerations, shoring up any potential grants that are out there, shoring up every little nook and cranny. So again, having that on the radar so we can move forward, and then we'll set that meeting up as well. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, yeah. God.
Yep.
So I don't have to talk to Jesse or Tom. I didn't realize you were Heidi, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, I'll start leaning on all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
You
to
gotta-
keep it fresher.
Yep.
Todd comes over on Sundays, but I.
Yep.
did it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day and he's like, yeah, they're already hitting me up. You ain't seen the start of it yet, boss.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions, comments, concerns as far as the subcommittees are? We're all good to go? Okay. Next steps. So again, the intention is to take this to the county commission on the 24th meeting. getting on the agenda. All the committee members are definitely welcome to be part of that. Question of Al, if you and Jake want to actually make the presentation again to the commission as far as the final concept. Okay. And then the intent is to ask the commission for the authorization to start the fundraising. And then we'd work forward with fundraising till we get to, pre-identified target and come back to the commission and then request for
I have a
design.
bid opening in Jamestown on 24th, so I'll make it back in time.
Jake, you have any conflicts?
I think so.
Okay.
I'll back you on that.
Might be out of town.
The county commission meetings are, you can definitely access that through GoTo, if I remember right, GoTo meetings.
Have internet service.
Sure.
That's down
Don't
here.
know
on
yet.
Tuesdays the 24th.
Yep, Tuesday.
I don't know where we're gonna be or where we're going, but we're gonna be on that entire.
So again, that is the intent. Present this final concept, again, understanding it's not the full design, but as a concept. And that way we can use that for the fundraising piece of it. The other piece, and just full transparency, is I'm having that, I haven't talked to Don as yet to make sure, so entity can give right directly to the county, but I'm looking at the face of fundraising. It would be better if the face of fundraising is not a government entity. Meaning create a friends of, something along that line, and making sure that that works as far as the flow of contributions, so they still maintain their tax-free contribution, their corporate donation capabilities. So I'll try to have all that solidified before that June 24 meeting. And beyond that, our next steps, honestly, would be, well, for the subcommittees, be working independently. And then for the full committee, I think after this county commission meeting, the architects, they definitely don't need to be here beyond this point because we're at that stage for them. Okay. But as far as the full committee, we'll have a fundraising subcommittee, but I'd be asking the entire committee to assist with fundraising because we all have resources out there, be able to pull those in. But also as we mapped out with the fundraising strategy is also identifying those in-kind contributions. So same story as we start mapping out what those in-kind can be. Maybe it's the plumbing and heating, maybe it's concrete, maybe it's what have you. So identifying that piece, who those players can be, prepare the ask. So we're asking on a consistent platform. So that being said, we'll basically look at the next date and time for the full committee meeting. And then that'll be the focus, is getting into that fundraising strategy, pending what the full county commission authorizes. So any other questions?
What would be a rough estimate of the engineering and the architecture for this project with this general concept? I mean, I know it's kind of putting you guys on the spot, but that's why I said rough estimate, shot in the dark.
You talking just the
Well-
wet finger for the overall project, or just
Just to
their,
get the engineered and architectural done. Because we're not gonna be, there's no way we're gonna be able to move forward without at least that much funds in the bank.
right?
We were looking at somewhere between 700 and 800,000 without considering under slab heat. And I don't even want to enter a guess on that one. So if you want to talk about $1 million project roughly, 100,000.
That's gotta be our first goal.
Yeah.
And once you hit that, you go out and do it again. Cause then you're starting out, then it would be construction costs and bidding it out.
Well, in all due respect, I'd be targeting a little bit higher than 100,000 for that first goal.
I would have to.
But that would be one of the motivations for it too. So then we can begin the details. But if we get that target a little higher, because that way you can get your contributions in stronger. But yes, as mentioned in the presentations, wet finger, windy day, I'm looking at at $1 million project.
Yeah.
I'll go over the survey results. Get the screen here again. I printed these out as well, but I left them on my printer. Oh, we're going this way. So as far as the survey results, we received 43 responses, partly because I was having issue with social media paid advertising. But we got 43 responses. 38 are Morton County residents, 6 are not. You can see the breakdowns underneath each. If you are, what area? So 0 responses identified from Elmont, 4 from Flasher, 3 from Hebron, 0 identified from Glen Ullin, 22 from Mandan, 0 identified from New Salem, 5 from rural Morton County. And yes, we did meet New Salem, just they may have classified themselves as rural Morton County or Mandan, whatever. Family members rostered on the existing monument, 38 said no, 6 said yes. On a scale of 1 to 5, so you see the breakdown, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How important is it to have distinct features showcasing the roster of service members killed during time of war? 3 rated at a 1, 1 rates it at a 2, 4 rated at a 3, 5 rated at a 4, 31 rated at a 5, giving an average of 4.4. On a scale of 1 to 5, how important is it to incorporate inspirational quotes with the monument? 10 rated at a 1, 5 at a 2, 9 at a 3, 12 at a 4, 8 at a 5, giving a 3.1 average. So warm result on that. On a scale of 1 to 5, how important is it to incorporate the physical stature of the battlefield cross, or the soldier's cross? 7 rated at a 1, 1 rates it at a 2, 4 at a 3, 8 at a 4, 24 at a 5, giving it a 3.9 average. How important is it to incorporate second nighttime image, the shadow across that back wall of the service member in battle? 7 at a 1, 3 at a 2, 7 at a 3, 9 at a 4, 18 at a 5, giving a 3.6 average. How important is it to incorporate a separate presentation for Medal of Honor recipients? 4 at a 1, 3 at a 2, 7 at a 3, 10 at a 4, 20 at a 5, giving it a 3.9. How important is it to incorporate public seating within the new design? 7 at a 1, 2 at a 2, 8 at a 3, 12 at a 4, 15 at a 5, giving it a 3.6. How do you rate the use of the overall space for the design? 6 at a 1, 1 at a 2, 4 at a 3, 12 at a 4, 21 at a 5, giving it a 3.9 average. How do you rate the use of colors and textures within the renewed plaza design? 6 at a 1, 0 at a 2, 7 at a 3, 12 at a 4, 19 at a 5, giving it a 3.9. Use of space, or overall use of space. Strongly agree, 26. I gave that 5 points. Agree, 11. I gave that 4 points each. Neutral at a 3, gave that 3 points each. Disagree at a 1, I gave that 1 point each. Strongly disagree, 2, I gave that 0 points each, averaging at 4.3. Overall design of the renewed monument, is it suitable? 20 strongly agree, 15 agree, 5 neutral, 1 disagree, 2 strongly disagree, leaving a 4.2 average. Morgan County Commission should authorize the implementation of this plaza. 24 strongly agree, 13 agree, 3 neutral, 0 disagree, 3 strongly disagree. I will also say I'd received 2 that were strictly ones all the way down or strongly disagree. So, people playing games, I don't know, but they're included in here. Again, that's a 4.3 average. Morgan County Commission should apply public funding to this monument. 12 strongly agree, 16 agree, 9 are neutral, 3 agree, 3 strongly disagree. That gives a 3.7 average. Then the breakdown for the cost, less than 25%, 11, 25%, 7, 50%, 15, 75%, 8, 100%, 1. So that averages at a 2.5, which would be between that 25 and 50 percentile is what the average would come into. And then, of course, just trying to get a sentiment of how people would feel towards donating to it. So I would donate to offset the costs. 10 strongly agree, 13 agree, 11 are neutral, 2 disagree, 6 strongly disagree, giving a 3.5 overall. And then level of cost that they would look at. So 15 less than 100, 12 between 100 and 500, 1 between 500 and 1,000, and 1 for $1,000 or more. They did not leave their name. But the comments, so each period is a different review. So a separate submittal. So what do you like? All. The overall concept, the lights, all, the combat cross, war dead monument, Medal of Honor names, all of it, the concept, shape and placement of the plaza, reference to the original design. It was inviting, needs a place for folks to sit and reflect. It was modern, classy, shadow, open plaza concept. None. Again, that goes to the ones that gave a 1 or 0. The open area with the plaza, give it a nice flow and not so cluttered or congested. I would suggest keeping the monument short for viewing out of the courthouse windows onto the street. None. The seating, it's misspelled. The landscaping, the soldier at night, the service emblems. The seating space, the overall design, the large American flag and nighttime lighting, none, all of it. Elements that they did not like. What the heck is that? Need to be put on the wall if,
Field training exercise.
okay.
I think they're confused.
No, that was, I wonder if that, because that's not what is on the form, but I have all the forms are right here.
No, I'm assuming that's what he meant.
Yeah, but I typed it in. That's what it's.
You probably wrote it the way he wrote it,
Need to be put on a wall if killed.
in a field training exercise.
Maybe so. I'd have to find it again here. Functionally during snowstorms and potential snow removal. Religious preference should not be included. No crosses, no biblical quotes. I think that's probably just a misunderstanding of what was being presented. Nothing really too much. Keep it simple and cost down. This is going to cost way too much. Are you saving the tree to keep the shade? It would be nice seating under it if you did. Leave it alone. We already have Fort Lincoln. That's referencing the State Veteran Cemetery. I don't like the glass look. I prefer how the names are displayed now. I don't like grandfathering in men who shouldn't have been listed in the first place, and one is a relative of mine. It's not right. Not applicable. Looks good to me. Money needs to be spent elsewhere. None. So again, 43 responses, and that's the culmination of them.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you said some replied out of Morton County? Like,
yeah.
Does it show or did they identify if they were Burley or?
No, just
So I did learn something in college at UND, how to lie with statistics, but even surveys, when you have someone go down the line with one
Mhm.
being a pinhead, I'll use today.
Yeah.
Rated G audience, but with that, just to skew numbers
Right,
and that they don't wanna put money into a memorial for those that gave the ultimate to not understand it.
right.
But the fact that someone from outside the county responded, and that's where, you know, with surveys, we learned.
Yep.
Because you go all negative to mess up the numbers. Well, did you say there was 40 some responses?
43 responses. I have 42 of them here. I just got one this morning.
10 people perished at, 3 of them, one was post-Korea, 2 of them Vietnam era, people that I knew, spouses that I, you know, their
Mhm.
spouses were in Vietnam, but they're volunteers at the food pantry, so
Mhm.
I sent it to 10 different people. I don't know if they responded.
There's a small handful that included their names. I would say maybe 5 of them that included
Because
their
that was
names.
optional.
It was optional. Yep. The other fields were required fields on the website. But then when we had the on-site meetings, people did the front, they didn't do the back.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be errors, of course, and there's always going to be those that'll try to skew it.
Jokers.
Yep. But again, this is at least gives us a good snapshot of what the public opinion is, which again is respectful.
Can do something like that. If somebody felt their family member from what county qualified for the wall, is there a way that we can relay that information? Is there like a survey that we can put like a response of some sort on the website that we can put? They feel that their family member
Should be included.
should be included.
The short answer, yes. Long answer, let's spell that out. Yeah, because again, well, on the fundraising piece, one of the people that really should be informed are the family members.
I did have somebody, well, this weekend, at Bucky's Blues, they thought their grandpa may have qualified.
Well, it's a source of names too.
Exactly,
Yeah,
because that'll help flush out any others that might not be. I digress here, but I also got, but I've been working on this for about 2 years, and again, separate but related. Man in Union Cemetery, the roster does not document veterans. They have a column for it, but they do not document it. And there's almost 10,000 interned at Man in Union Cemetery. So I mentioned to city leaders, and most recently was about 2-3 months ago. And I was told then that yes, they were not aware of that, and they will act on it immediately. But today I received another phone call from someone that has been researching. They have over 400 names already solidified that are veterans interned at Man in Union. So again, it ties in with this is the families want to honor. You know, I do.
and who I talked to, they didn't know much about their grandpa. And so I referred them to, as far as getting their information, they had no idea who in the family had the information, so I referred them to National Archives. But yeah, I just thought maybe that might be something that we could include.
Well, that'll definitely help solidify the roster. Because again, however long it may take for fundraising, once we get to a respectful point that we can contract the design, that gives us time to do more digging.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I say short answer, yes. Long answer, let's figure out how we can do that.
Okay.
Any other comment? This information change your perspective at all?
No.
Larry, are you thinking?
Your opinions, I have mine.
Nobody else's matters.
Exactly. long as I'm happy with my opinion, I care less what they think.
Absolutely.
Then we will make plans for the June 24th meeting to have the final concept formal presentation to the commission. And I will request at least that we proceed with fundraising. And however, the dialogue from the rest of the commissioners will take place. Granted, we got two of them sitting right here, but see how the rest of the commissioners will come and play for dialogue and input. For fundraising, we're gonna target $1 million. The monument may come more, it may come less. We won't know until we get to that phase, the actual bidding. And that being said, we would definitely thank Jake and Al for their dedication. Look forward to have the opportunity to work with them on a final design. Hopefully, we can make that happen. But appreciate the efforts, the inputs, the communication, the interpretation. So thank you.
Of course. Yeah, well, thank you for giving us this opportunity to assist on this project, absolutely. Gonna be a wonderful addition to the site, that's for sure.
Well, for Morgan County as a whole, because some of the comments that we've got was just even over the weekend. And I'm gonna paraphrase, but actually a friend of mine, a Marine Corps buddy of mine in Maryland that called me over the weekend. He says, I watched the video. He says, in short, a beautiful monument. It will envy Arlington. His words. And when you look at the overall design,
Oh, yeah.
I would have to say it would.
Kind of funny, Thursday last week, we're coming up on the anniversary of my uncle's death in Vietnam. So planning on doing some stuff to my car, and I was gonna do. So the Shelby's gonna be OD green with a black hood.
Oh.
I'm gonna do the traditional white star on the roof, but I'm gonna bumper tag it. And I had all of his information except for company and platoon. And a couple of years ago, the church where they grew up had a dedication, did a memorial for my uncle, and his lieutenant showed up. And my dad put me in touch with him. I spent 3 hours on the phone with this guy.
Wow.
80 years old, smart, like sharp, just like razor sharp, like pulling memories out. He's like, we went through all of this, and he asked how I was doing. Apparently, him and my father talked quite a bit, and he told him I was a vet, and so we were talking. I told him I was doing this, and I gave him the link, and I got an email back from him, and it was kind of the same thing. Like, this is North Dakota. Yeah, it's like I live in Maryland. We don't have anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of cool to get that feedback from people on the other side of the world.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tag in what Jake had mentioned and what Al had mentioned too. So my understanding, this is your 50th anniversary.
This is my 50th year of
50th year.
being in my own business, but I've been 58 total with other firms.
Yeah. So we're joking one night about, the question was not what he has done, but what he hasn't. What did you say?
The only thing I haven't done is the War Memorial Monument.
So he made his checklist now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So unless there's anything else, motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Motion by Stacy,
I'll second it.
second by Gary. Sky, you're already in the minutes.
My bad. Sitting there looking every other line.
I like to have meetings move on, so I'll motion.
Yeah.
I'll call the question if you talk to him. I know.
So we'll set up a meeting after the commission and work on those next steps then.
Yep. As far as the criteria, I'm